Okay, so this is my third video on this channel, and you know that the first two videos, if you've seen them, are sort of off the cuff, me reading off of my notes for my idea for the show, and thought I'd give some much needed context, backstory for this. As you can see, this video is not edited in any way. This is me talking completely improvisationally into photo booth on my computer, and if that's a problem, then I'm sorry, I'm not a video maker, I'm just a dude with an idea. So, I'm a huge fan of Avatar. I watched it when I was a kid, and now that it's big again, I couldn't be more excited, because for years I was trying to get people to watch it, and they were like, oh, it's a kid's cartoon, blah blah blah, and this is so vindicating for me, because I always knew the show was really something special, and obviously the plot and the characters are phenomenal. Zuko's redemption arc is one of, if not the best character arc I've ever seen in any show or movie or book. It's so captivating, just so real, but beyond the character stuff, I've always been extremely intrigued by the world building, and I thought, wow, even more than some other things, even more than Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, maybe even Game of Thrones, I thought this world could stretch back, stretch forward, and accommodate so many different stories. And so I started thinking about it. And then one day I was watching The Prince of Egypt, that DreamWorks movie, which, by the way, phenomenal movie. That movie is art. If you haven't seen that movie, it is art. And so I started watching that, and I was thinking, Prince of Egypt, I could totally steal this plot and put it in the Avatar universe. And I started thinking about that. I was like, a prince and his brother get separated at the beginning as, they're young brothers. They're nominally close, but they've never been tested. They get split up at the beginning, then towards the end, but not at the end, they get reunited on different sides of a conflict. I was like, this could be something. This could be a show in the Avatar universe. Let me snatch that idea. And so I was thinking about it. I was like, maybe these two brothers could be on a trip of some sort. And then the crown prince, the older brother, gets captured by the rebellion or something. And he basically is living with them and realizes that, maybe the rebellion has something going on. I was thinking about this, and I showed it to my friend, and he was like, instead of them being on a trip and the crown prince being kidnapped, what if it's that the crown prince has to leave the palace for some reason? He has to escape. I was like, why would he have to escape? Maybe he's never been a waterbender. At this point, I didn't even know that it was going to be a waterbending prince. It could have been anything. But my friend was like, yeah, it's the Northern Ice Empire. I was like, that's a good idea. And he was like, well, actually, no, I think it was me who was like, so he can't, the crown prince can't bend, but his younger brother can. And maybe that causes some sort of conflict. And then we were talking about it more, and I was like, what if he's secretly an earthbender the whole time? And I really liked this idea, and I thought you could work in a lot of different angles with that. Like, for instance, some sort of racism arc, where this guy who's been raised up thinking very little about earthbenders, thinking water is the highest element, and earthbending is, dirty, it's low, it's it's crude, whereas waterbending is sort of like the artistic, the finessed, the the regal element. Earth is like this very crude tool. And I was thinking, what if throughout the show, he really comes to terms with the fact that he's been an earthbender this whole time, and he uses the waterbending forms that he's been versed with all his life, despite the fact that he couldn't waterbend. He knew all the forms. What if he could apply these waterbending forms to earthbending, and that's how he, grows and explores his own powers within this world? And so I suppose that is the context for this. That's the idea behind all of this, is that you have a waterbending prince who hates earthbenders, discovers he is an earthbender, has to flee, and then goes from hating himself and hating this curse that he's been, brought down with. He goes from that into manifesting this great, fluid earthbending technique, and utilizing that to help the rebellion, or whatever the plot may be. And I have some plot that I've written down. I'm starting to sketch out a rough arc, but this is the context behind that. And I think that was needed before we move forward. Here's some other notes, though. As you can see, this is very rough. I'm not a YouTube maker, nor am I necessarily a writer. I'm a teacher who loves Avatar, and this is just, an idea that popped into my head. So I'm putting this on YouTube because I would love for some people who know how to write better than I do to look at this and say, this has some potential, but you could do something completely different here. You could change this and make it so much better. And what I'm saying is I'm completely open to ideas. I love collaborating, and so if anybody has any sort of ideas or anything, if anyone even sees this video, I'm not sure if anyone will, I would love to hear what people think. And I guess after this video I'm going to be releasing a video where I discuss the main arc of the show, at least the first season as I see it. And I'm seeing it as like a 3-season show. Maybe I'm clinging too hard to the Avatar mold, but that's how I'm visualizing it right now. It could be anything, though. Anyway, we'll see. See you next video.